Sometimes the runtime of these videos is so short because the game is just that straightforward. I can explain Afterburner II in about 15 seconds, and I wouldn't even be glossing over things. It also happens to be one of the more visually impressive games on the PC Engine. I guess if you wanted to be really technical, you could say Afterburner II is the sequel to Afterburner, but that's not really true. Sega released the original Afterburner to arcades, and then a few months later had Afterburner II as a revised version that polished things up just a little bit. Afterburner II wound up being one of the big arcade hits of the late 80s, and its hydraulically driven motion cabinet that threw players up and down as they flew the jet was one of the big attractions in many arcades at the time. But there was a problem with Afterburner II, the same one that a lot of Sega's Super Scaler games had. It was way too advanced to port to home systems easily. The big feature of Sega's arcade games at that point was the high-speed sprite scaling, which they used for pretty much every effect possible. Home platforms at the time struggled with scaling a sprite, let alone dozens simultaneously at the speeds necessary for playing these games. Shortly before the PC Engine version was released, Sega themselves ported Afterburner II to their Mega Drive. That version greatly slowed down the action and reduced the visuals on screen. And then here comes Bits Laboratory with their own port to a system significantly weaker than the Mega Drive, and just look at it. I'll even put them side by side for you. Sega's version is competently done, but the PC Engine version? That's bananas. The concept behind Afterburner is that you hop into a jet and shoot down enemy jets, and then we're done. That's the whole game. The jet in question is an F-14 Tomcat, probably inspired by the film Top Gun. And that jet has made sure that versions of Afterburner haven't always been available, since Sega has to renew the license anytime they want to do a re-release. There's 18 stages, but they're really more backgrounds than levels. Button 1 fires your gun, so you can leave that one on auto-fire, and Button 2 fires missiles, which you have a limited stock of, and so you really want to only shoot them once you have a missile lock, indicated by a square around the target, as well as the game saying lock. You have a throttle that controls your speed by pressing the run button. Whether it's increasing or decreasing alternates every time you press the button. So you can press and hold it to increase the throttle, release, then press and hold again to decrease. The throttle is mainly used for evasive maneuvers when an enemy's on your tail, although there's a couple of other places where it comes in handy to adjust your speed. Every few levels, you are rearmed, either by a plane docking with you for refueling, or by landing at a friendly military base. And very occasionally, there's some bonus stages where you shoot a bunch of ground targets. I consider these to be the worst part of the game, because the super scalar effect really breaks down when it tries to simulate flying through a canyon. That's the one real visual failing of this version of Afterburner II. Naturally, the enemy are also firing back at you, and they're using missiles that have some basic tracking, so they'll arc and follow you a little bit. What that means, however, is that there's some evasion techniques that are fairly effective. Move in certain patterns, and you're very likely to not get hit. It only takes one shot to down your plane, and you're given 3 lives and 1 continue to make your way through all 18 stages. Japanese players single out Afterburner II on the PC Engine as an excellent port. In fact, I found plenty of people calling it the number 2 port of Afterburner II, right behind the 32X version. My own feeling here is that this is a technical showcase for the PC Engine, and also I'm not really that fond of Afterburner. It probably goes back to the days when it cost a whole $1 to play on those hydraulic arcade machines, and then the game felt out of control and lasted all of 2 minutes. So I've just never been fond of the game in general. Still, this is an excellent version of it. Better than the Mega Drive, hands down. Afterburner II is a game that you can show to people and they'll go, wow, the PC Engine can do that? And then after they play it for 10 minutes, they're done because it's just Afterburner.